Qantas has requested a trading halt ahead of an announcement this hour that 6,000 jobs will be cut due to the coronavirus pandemic. Joining us live is Sky News business reporter Edward Boyd. Ed, this cut is up to 20% of the Qantas and Jetstar teams.
That's right, Annalise. In fact, Qantas's chief executive, Alan Joyce, has just released the transcript of a 4-page speech detailing this new 3-year plan that the airline has announced. And yes, it includes 6,000 jobs will be lost at the Qantas Group, which equates to 20% of the workforce. It also says 15,000 employees will remain stood down for now. The comments from Alan Joyce say, today we're making some very significant and in some cases very difficult announcements about the future of the Qantas Group. Mr Joyce goes on to say, IATA, which is the peak body for airlines, says it will take more than 3 years for global travel to return to 2019 levels. So Mr Joyce says that means all airlines, including Qantas, must take action now. We have to position ourselves for several years where revenues will be much lower, and that means becoming a smaller airline in the short term. So Mr Joyce says it's a very difficult decision, but 6,000 job losses will be announced today. He says many of these will be people who have spent decades working at Qantas. It's not unusual to have several members of one family working at Qantas and Jetstar. He says across the world, airlines are shrinking by up to 50%. And to avoid anything on this scale, Qantas will be extending the stand down for a large number of our people, 15,000 people. Around half of those stood down will be back flying domestically. They think by the end of this year. The remainder, mostly those supporting international flying, will return to work more slowly. Also today in the announcement, Qantas is planning to raise $1.9 billion in equity, which will help strengthen the airline's balance sheet and help it continue flying basically throughout this year. So that is the announcement in a short summary, Annalise, and we'll bring you more information as it breaks. But obviously big news for Australia's largest airline. Roughly 20% of the workforce will lose their jobs.